I heard two persons talking to one another that on this Monday, Prime Minister of this country is going to announce some new guidelines, new set of rules for lockdown. These two persons, they were talking to one another. Based on that, we should be law-abiding citizens. Based on that, I was thinking that this Mimbar and Mihrab announcing guidelines of the supreme government from 14 centuries. This Mimbar and Mihrab announcing guidelines of the supreme government, and that guidelines will have no two opinions. Your Prime Minister's guidelines will have many opinions. There is no firmness into this guidelines, and there is total firmness into this guidelines. There is total guarantee of safety in this guidelines, and there is not 100% guarantee of safety. But I was wondering, you think about yourself, I must think about myself. How many people will become attentive? How many people will read? How many people will obey? And how much we as Muslims become attentive to the guidelines of the supreme government? How many of us we obey? And when you obey, what happens? It is not new thing, lockdown. There was a lockdown in Masjid al-Nabawi. There was a lockdown in Masjid al-Nabawi when some of the rebels took over Masjid al-Nabawi. There was no salat in Masjid al-Nabawi. When lockdown happened initially, we had shared this incident. I'm sharing again. When you become committed to the supreme government, then what happens? Allah creates some divine tools to connect you with Himself. Allah creates some divine system to connect you with Himself. If you obey supreme government. We must have heard many times Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, one of the great tabi'i. It is being said that he had never seen any musalli's back from 40 years, because he was first in masjid and he used to be last in masjid. He used to be first in masjid and he used to be last in masjid. And I am saying this with so heart. We have these great favors of Allah, masajid. Till today, we have not made qadar. And there are little awakening calls that lockdown for few months, for few weeks. It must not happen that we become deprived forever. And do not blame anybody else, blame yourself. Blame yourself. Sa'id ibn Musayyib, when he was connected to Allah and house of Allah and masjid of Allah, that for 40 years, or for 40 years, he had never seen anybody's back. Why? Because he will be first into the masjid and he will be last into the masjid. When lockdown happened in Masjid al-Nabawi, no one was allowed. Sa'id ibn Musayyib said, I was locked inside and I stayed inside the Masjid al-Nabawi. So they asked that, how did you perform your salat? There was no adhan going on, nothing was happening. You know what happened? If you become connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you don't need asbab many times. Sometimes you don't need asbab. He said every salat time, adhan and its voice used to come from the rawda of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From the rawda of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he used to perform salat. So I make dua that may Allah keep you all safe for long time. Allah give you long obeying life. But our bodies are suffering less and our deen is suffering most. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us that balancedness. We take all the precautions. Every set of rule we must have gone through from A to Z. And I've been saying that sometimes you hear ulama talking, non-ulama talking. No, I have read thoroughly whole guidelines. He will talk like he's boasting that no one is expert about the guideline of the government like me. That's when you feel like crying, that this friend of yours, has he gone through the guidelines of Allah from A to Z like that? Does he become attentive every Thursday when government is going to announce? People are talking that Monday, Prime Minister of this country is going to announce. So everybody is ready now to hear. And the Supreme Government is announcing from 14 centuries. We don't have time. Tomorrow when Quran will be taken away, only letters will remain, spirits will be taken away. Do not blame Allah. Do not blame anybody else. Blame that you did not value when everything was available. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq.